What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today I just want to do a quick video. As you can tell by the title, it is the most cost-effective budget way to start mobile welding. That's probably there's a lot of ways to do it, but this is probably one of the better ways to go about it when you first start. And I feel like there's not a whole lot of information on this. A lot of guys who are into mobile welding, you know, they got deep pockets and they can afford to go out and buy that engine drive or whatever. But for the guy like me who's been welding in his shop, you know, I got some pretty nice stuff now for the shop, but I really don't have anything that sets me up to go out there and get started mobile welding until now. So just picked up this little inverter generator. It's a Champion. I got it used off of Facebook Marketplace. It was actually brand new. The guy didn't use it. He ended up buying something better, bigger, and then he just dumped this on Marketplace. So picked this up from him for like 700 bucks. I think new they go for around like 900 bucks. But this has been a great start for me. I've done a few jobs with it already. I did have to make this extension cord that goes from this 4-prong 220 or 240 to my welder plug. So I'm gonna fire it up and then gonna show you guys how it works with my TIG welder. This currently still is my only machine. I do want to pick up a little MIG that I can also run off the inverter. But yeah, let's fire it up and then show you guys how it runs and just talk about some things. So as I said, this is an inverter generator. Actually, I don't know if I said that, but I'm saying it now. And the reason that I mention that is because this is where a lot of guys get in trouble. They try to run a machine that's an inverter style machine, like my TIG welder over there, that TIG 200 off a normal generator, and it doesn't provide clean power. So the waveform that normal generators puts off, it like spikes up and down, right? And it's not as smooth. These inverter style generators, they produce what's called clean power, and you can do a lot of research on it. It's total harmonic distortion has to be less than a certain value. But generally speaking, if you get an inverter style generator, it's gonna be more than capable of running a inverter style welding machine. So make sure you get an inverter style, and if you can, you know, look up the total harmonic distortion. It should be under, I think, like 5% or something. Don't hold me to that. Do your own research, but this thing's been great, like I said. And let's fire it up and I'll show you guys how it works. All right, so when we fire this up, some important things: you just want to make sure that your machine isn't actually on when you start this thing up. So I'm just gonna go ahead and disconnect it just to be safe. Choke out, and this does have, I wanna say, yeah, it's got a pull start backup, so that's nice in case your battery dies. But I haven't had any issues starting this with the electric start. All right, so I went ahead and moved the generator outside, super loud. Need to come up with a longer extension cord, but like I said, balling on a budget here. Go ahead and fire my machine up. And I actually haven't ran it off a 220 yet. So this will kind of be the test of, you know, if it can run it, you know, full tilt. It should be able to, so we're about to find out. We'll start at 150 amps. We'll do 155. This is DC TIG. Make sure I got my gas on, got my ground, got my pedal over here, and then I got these two pieces of metal right here, mild steel. Normally I'd clean that, but it's just for testing purposes. So yeah, let's see if it can handle this. The only jobs that I've done with it are off of 110. So I haven't hooked into the 240 or 220 yet. So see how she does. All right, here we go. First test run, DC TIG on 155 amps, and this is some ER70S Tac 2 3/32 rod. So a little bit thicker of a rod, especially for this material. Normally I wouldn't use that, but I'm just gonna run it hot, just full pedal. See if it flips the breaker or anything on the machine or the generator. All right, that was full pedal, 155 amps. Looks really good to me. Let's take it up a notch. I'm gonna turn the machine up to, let's just give it all of it, let her eat, 200 amps. 200 amps, here we go. All right, that was way too hot for this material, but that was full pedal, 200 amps. Only a short burst, but I think the generator handles it just fine. I can hear it idle up, and it doesn't sound like it's working too hard. So yeah, that's 200 amps, DC TIG, mild steel. I got some aluminum. Let's switch over to AC and melt some aluminum. .70 amps. All right, so this is some dirty aluminum. Again, I would normally clean this, but this is just for a test. So 170 amps, I'm gonna go full pedal. Little beast out there doing some work. 170 amps, no problem. I'm assuming, you know, it's pulling about the same amps between DC and AC. There's probably no real difference. So I'm just gonna stop there, and then I'm gonna switch out the TIG setup for stick. That way you can see that it runs stick just fine too. So turn it off, switch the leads around, and then show you guys burning some 7018. All right, so unfortunately, all I got for rods is these 3/32 7018 rods. I don't do a whole lot of like heavy duty stuff with stick welding. It's usually smaller stuff, trailer repairs, stuff like that. So I get away with smaller rods, but I do need to pick up some larger rods. So I'm gonna kind of max this rod out. Usually I run it anywhere from like 90 to 100 amps. So I'll do like, I don't know, I'll just keep it at 100. We'll see how it runs, and then kind of conclude the whole generator setup. All right, here we go. 3/32 7018, 100 amps on some mild steel. Just doing it on the ground because I hate getting all the BBs all over my table. I like to try to keep my table clean if I can. From stick welding, I only TIG on there. So we did decent little bead. Actually looks a little cold. I probably could have ran it a little hotter, but you get the picture. Startup was no issue, and it ran the rod great. So turn off the machine. All right, so there you go. With this machine, I can pretty much do, I can do it all, honestly. Just use my TIG machine over here. I can stick, I can TIG, and like I said, eventually I do want to pick up a little MIG machine, and then I really can do it all. Which is crazy to think how far the technology's come. You know, you got a lot of these old guys who are still set in their old ways, but I would rather buy, starting out, you know, something cheaper like this, that's new, that's probably more reliable than some of these older engine drives that have seen better days that people still want a couple $1,000s for, you know. And with this, it's not like I'm limited to sticking an engine drive on the back of my truck and then having to fire that beast up anytime. Like, I can just break this down, still use my shop setup with my TIG welder, and if I get a MIG welder, I can leave it over here, and then if I get a mobile job, which, you know, I've gotten a few now, but they're not that frequent yet, then I can throw this thing in the back of my truck and, you know, make some money. So pretty slick setup, and I just wanted to share it because, like I said, kind of scoured the internet and YouTube, and you know, it's kind of hit or miss on the opinions that you get with running these inverter style machines off of generators. So I'm telling you right now, it works, showing you that it works. So go out and get that money.